Alright, I promised you another key. This is the spooky key. This is the reference for it. I'm going to press S2, look from the side and pull it back. I don't know how spooky this is actually, but I like calling it that. Alright, we're going to move this roughly into the middle. I had a request to actually do an old door with a doorknob and a key in it, so maybe we'll do something like that later. But this is what we're going to make right here. Pretty straightforward, I hope. So let's do this. Let's bring in a curved path and just drop this somewhere down around here where this one would join to that piece. And we'll just pull these points up around and start making a curve that we like. And as always, we won't be exactly the same as the diagram, but we will end up with a spooky key, I hope. We're going to extrude out and just come along. And in fact, what I probably want to do is come close to the edge because of the way I'm going to make this. So bring it close to the edge like that. Okay, we're going to come down again. What did I do? Oh, that was right. That was right in the first place. And then we'll extrude one more time. And then maybe down to there. Let's just have a look at that. Alright, let's try to fix this up. It's a little hard to see. I may try that. Okay, of course we'll put a subdivision on there. Yeah, we don't need that right now. Alright, let's see. Let's see how that works for us. So we're going to come here, and the top resolution we're going to change to 3. And this one under geometry, we are going to, we'll try changing that to 2. And let's convert that to a mesh. So it's just this with all the points. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude it out a little bit like that. Alt and recalculate outside just in case. I'm going to take this E and Alt S, and I guess I'm coming in like that. So we'll be a little bit off the diagram. That's okay. We'll try Control 2 just to see what that's like. Okay. But it's going to be relatively flat. Okay, so we got like that. What I'm going to actually do is we're going to flatten this first so we can add the circle. I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to get rid of those, and I'm going to just select just the top faces. Then I'll go Control I, X faces. We'll get rid of those, so we'll have that. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to bring my 3D cursor there, and I'm going to bring in a circle, and it's going to be what, 8? We'll try 8. No. Scale it down. Let's rotate X 90. Pull it over here, and what I'm going to want is these two flat ones kind of close to each other. So just make it as big as you want, and I'll join those with a face. And let's try adding the subdivision again. And we have that. All right. So now we can take it, and now I'll give it some thickness like that. And I'm going to get rid of this face here. And now I'm going to come around, and I think I will select all of it around here like that and give that a bevel. And we can try, we got to watch out for in here. Actually take it and recalculate outside. this edge is a little close, so I'm going to press GG and just move it off. And I'm going to select all these again. May not be ideal for beveling based on that geometry, but we'll see. Let's see how it goes. Let's try that again. Yeah, that's okay. Let's try that. Okay. And now I'm going to come in, I think, and select all that. And I'm going to E and Alt S, and I'm going to push it out. Just so we get another level of some kind of detail. Maybe I'll bring an edge loop in here, and in here. All right, so it looks like that. And if we take this and mirror it to the other side, we get that. Let's turn on the cavity shader. Now you can see what I've got a little bit better. And if we want to, we can select in here, I'd inset. I'm not really looking at the diagram, just doing whatever. Let's convert that to a circle to make it a little bit nicer. And then I'll inset again and Control E the edge loops to do that. And I can tighten it up just a little bit. It will just catch the texture a little bit better. So we have that piece right there. All right, so I think if I was happy with it, I would apply the mirror, so I can bring my 3D cursor back to the middle roughly, so I can start with the rest. All right, so let's bring in a cylinder and use maybe 18 vertices, nothing, and start making this piece here. So I may, depending on how far down this goes, maybe I'll do that, and then maybe I'll move the diagram a little bit, just for this part here. Okay. I'm going to go into wireframe, and I'm going to pull up to the top there, and I'm going to bevel, Control B. I have no face, so put a face in there and then bevel, and then roll up and just get it nice and smooth like that. And grab this edge here, pull it down, and the rest is very basic for this part anyhow. So we'll come down to about there. And a little fuzzy to see, but we'll come down straight, maybe to here, and then we'll come out and down. And I want this part wider than this part, and I'll show you how I did that. And then I think I'll just scale in. Let's have a look at that. Okay. Let's take one of these edges, Shift-D, pull it down here, and make a bottom piece. So we'll come down here, and we'll come down and scale it in. I guess we'll just keep going. And come down, maybe straight a little bit, and then come down. No, that didn't work out. Okay, there we go. Come down here and scale it out. Come down straight. Down and scale it. We could come in a little bit, come down a bit, maybe we can scale out, maybe pull it down, do whatever you kind of want, and come down to there, and come down here and scale it like that. And another one to about there, and we come down all the way, and we'll F to make a face, and I'll put an edge loop in here, and we'll use that in a second. Okay, let's go back into solid view now, and let's just bevel however we want. with a few nice segments there. I probably didn't need that much, and then let's just pull that open like that. Maybe accentuate it, make it as big as you want, and E and Alt S and pull it in, and then grab these two edges and we'll bevel with 3, because we'll have a subdivision on most likely, and I'll throw that on. I'll just do Control 1 though for now, and then we'll just start throwing edge loops in, generally above and below the edge that I've already got. So I end up with 3, which is essentially the same as if I just beveled it, which I could do anyhow. So I'll do that, and then we need one coming down. And so I've got that one, and I'll throw one more in there. So there's my 3, and I don't always do 3, but a lot of times I do. And this one will have 3, and then one in there. Yeah, oops, not there. Pretty much doing the 3. And so it'll be kind of round but kind of sharp, so that when we go into Substance Painter we can get some nice edge effects. Come up here and down. Now this is where that middle piece is going to be, so I want this actually to come in a little bit, just to have a little bit of an extra lip in there. So I'll do that, and I'll come up to this one. See, this one I already did bring in. So we'll just do this and this and up, just working our way along the model. There's 2. I think I have one up in there, so although, yeah, I could probably use another one, and I'll do 3 here. I don't want too sharp. You know, that kind of bothers me a little bit. Yeah, it's this. So I'll take that and I'll press GG. That'll slide it along its edges, and let's see, maybe GG. Yeah, okay, that's gonna be okay. So there's that top. Almost feel like I should have a line in there, but let's hide that. So this is what we have. Actually, let's select everything and Alt N, recalculate outside, and let's also do a merge by distance just in case. No, nothing to get rid of. Let's switch over to a matte cap just to look at it like that. So getting some nice details. Just gonna have a look at this and decide. I think I need to pull an edge loop down. Maybe you saw that before and I didn't. Sometimes I'm busy looking at other things, and there might be other stuff. All right. Okay, so now what we want to do is I want to bring that back. I'm going to select just something like the bottom ring here. There's my wife singing in the background. Let's select something like that one and that one, and bring the 3D cursor there. I just want a way to get into the middle. I'm not even going to really look at the diagram now. I'm going to come, I want 18. I'm going to scale it down, scale in the Z. This eventually will tuck under, so I can scale Shift Z a little bit. So I'm going to have that, and I want to put a design, sort of a pattern there. So I'm going to bevel, and I'm going to come up. I don't want it exactly at the end, so something like that. Okay, and then you press I twice and pull in, sort of like you're making that Greek column or whatever, like that. Then E and Alt S and push out a little ways. All right, we're going to put Control 1 or 2 on there and shade smooth, and we'll drop an edge loop in there and Control B to split it and pull it up sort of near the top. And that's probably okay. Probably don't need 2 subdivisions. But what I want to do now, the interesting part, is I want to box select this top region here. I'm going to go back into solid so you can see. So I've got the top there, and I'm going to rotate Z. I'm going to try 45, and that'll bow it in the middle a little bit, which I kind of like, that kind of pattern. And so I've got that, and now I can take this and I can scale it in the Z a little bit, pull it up. Okay, and if it pokes through, I'll just push that back down in, and it's not really poking through the bottom. So I get this kind of a pattern on it, and this might be better with 2. All right, so we've got that, and now all that's left is to make this thing. And you of course can put all kinds of little details on this if you wanted to, and that would be very cool. I'm going to go to the side, and actually I take it back. I'm going to look here, and I'm going to drop an edge loop here and here. We could get rid of those later if we want. I'm just going to use them as a guide because I want to select, let's see, I want this to be relatively thin and it's not going to join. I'm going to take that because it's the central one. I'm going to look from the front again, and I'm going to Shift D to duplicate it, just pull it out, and P to break it out. And there it is. I'm going to turn off the subdivision. I'll come back in here so that before I forget, I actually get rid of these. We won't need them. So I'm going to take that piece, and I'm going to bring it back to near the body, extrude it out to here, like that. And I think we'll put an edge loop in here and Control B and split it until it's about the size of this middle piece here. And it is a little thin. I might thicken it in a bit. So let's just look at this. I'm going to extrude out to here. And this piece is going to come forward. So E to extrude will come forward. And this piece and this piece are going to come down, or out, up and down, E and SZ to like that, something like that. And then we'll take these 2 pieces and extrude them out as well. And you can decide if you want them longer or whatever. I'll just follow the diagram roughly. So we get something like this. Now I'll take this and I'll look from the side, and maybe I'll scale this in the Y to be like that. Don't want it too thick. All right, let's focus just on that, and let's get rid of these faces right there. And then let's see what happens if we just throw on a bevel itself, bring it up, and 0.02 maybe. And we can switch this to arc, and it'll round it a little bit. Don't worry about the shading yet. Maybe 0.01. All right, let's try adding a weighted normal and a normal's auto smooth. And you know, it's not the most exciting piece of geometry, but now do I want to play around with maybe beveling by hand? Let's turn that off for a second so I can see what I'm selecting. I'm just thinking about these for the moment, all these corner pieces. And I'll put that back on, and you'll see how the bevel is affected as we do this. I'm just thinking if I can do a nice rounded thing like that. Do we prefer that? And if we do we want to go all the way around here? Let's try, say select here and click Control once in a while as we come around. It's a little bit hard sometimes with the cavity shader because it's so light in there. I could do one side, cut it in half, and then do the other, or I could just do the other at the same time as well. It's not that hard, just holding down Control, just trying not to select anything else. That didn't go right, so maybe we gotta go a different route. Where am I even? Okay. Yeah. Let's just shut that off for the moment. So hopefully I got everything. We have these, so we need to be careful a little bit about our bevel. Let's try it and see, even a chamfer like that. See if that would be nice. Just look at the geometry and make sure we're not crossing over anywhere. I should have beveled there too, and I can still do that if I like this. Let's see if I can grab these And 2, 3, do that as well. Kind of like it. Let's see if I turn that off, leave that on. Well, yeah, that's probably what we're going to end up with. Let's take that and just push it in this time. And let's get rid of that. Let's turn the cavity shader back on. I'm going to come into this guy and recalculate outside, merge by distance. I don't see any problems. So I think what I'm going to do now is look at this and see if I can go down. Although I don't know, why would I? Why not make it look good? So I'm going to apply that subdivision. That's just one, and it's fine like that. I'm going to apply that, and I'm going to join those two there. This one is 2, and if I go down to, yeah, I think we needed the 2 on that. So I think I'll join that as well. But I don't think I'll join this. I'll just apply that. And let's see. Maybe I'll apply that as well. So that gives us our key, and if we wanted to look with a different matte cap, I often will go to that one because it looks kind of cool, and I can see my shading and any details. Yeah, it'd be nice to put other details in it, but there it is. So let's stick with that for the moment. So let's go over to UV editing, and I'm going to, for this piece here, I'm going to use cube projection. We're going to try that. So I just unwrap that. And for this piece, I'm going to come in, just make sure merge by distance, yeah. I'm going to try just Smart UV Project with a little bit of an island margin, 0.03. And then I'm going to select everything over, make sure it's selected. I think I'll do average island scale, and then I'm going to pack, and I'll use UV Pack Master. All right, make sure we save because it's a little bit intensive. So there it is. Let's give it a try now. So I have it all. Convert it now to an FBX, or export it to an FBX. All right, there it is. I don't know how spooky it looks, but all right. Well, it's spooky in terms of how many polys it has. I'm going to put it at 2K, uncheck there, and bake. All right, there it is. Let's put on anti-aliasing just to make it, well, not that, just to make it look a little bit better as we do this. I mean, and this is the absolute fun part, just throwing on materials and seeing how the thing would look. It's such a simple model. This is kind of neat, and these are kind of neat. So, all right, so it's just one material. All right, so what I thought we could do is either Smart Materials or materials. Let's see if I can find what we used last time or close to it. Let's just drag this steel dark aged, and already it looks kind of cool. So I think that was similar to the last material that I started with. So let's go with that. And then let's do some of the stuff I did before. So I'll just add a fill layer. I'll just go for color. It'll be light. You can make it lighter if you want. I'll add a black mask and a generator, and I'll do metal edges. And then I'll bring this down, and that'll just catch some of the edges and make it sort of pop a little bit. I'm not really concentrating a lot on exactly where it is and how much. I know it's going to look good. And then the next thing we're going to do is, I'll just write that as edges. We'll add some dirt to that. So fill layer, I'll do color and roughness all the way up. And for color, I'm just going to go for a dark color and not search for a brown. Black mask, generator, we use the generator, the dirt generator. That'll just throw in some junk here and there, bring it down. And now we can, we get it in there so we really can see that texture better. So we get that in there. And yeah, okay, that's all right. And when you use Smart Materials, sometimes you'll get more of a seam than if you just use a regular material. And so you can play around with triplanar and stuff, but I think it's okay for the moment. I'm going to put those crazy cracks on here in a minute. But just before I do that, let's try just a little bit of rust. And I'm not sure if I want to use rust or not, but let's try. So if I type in rust and I use maybe this rust fine, and that throws it everywhere. Now you don't always have to have it right in the fill. You can put it in the roughness. You can do all kinds of things. And I've done some of that. But for this, let's try just edge rust. Use that as a mask. And you see that there? Now we do have some seam issues, especially with this rust. When I do that, I can pretty much get rid of that seam. And now I'm going to, let's see if I want to take it down here like this, or if I want to globally just kind of dull it like that. No, I think I'll do this. All right. So this is what we're getting for our key. And because it's got to be that scary, spooky key, we got to put in those cracks. So let's do that. So I create a paint layer. And I'm going to use height and color. I'm going to use black in those cracks. And let's bring them down a little bit. And in my alphas, this should come with Substance Painter. I think you search for crack cells, whatever. And just start doing stuff. I'm just going to put them here and there. And then, well, yeah, I think I may have pulled it there. And, yeah. I'll just put them anywhere. Okay. Let's see. We can put scratches on it as well. Let's change the orientation a little bit if we can. Yeah, like that. There we go. And we'll play with the light. And let's up the resolution here to 2K. There we go. Yeah, a little bit too much scratches, but you get the idea anyhow. And then the final thing we could do, let me get it like this a little bit more. There. Is you can, you may want to export this and bring it into Blender, but you can experiment with different HDRIs, and you might get, oh, that looks really neat. Now it's a spooky key. And those cracks make it spooky and not very realistic. But there it is. That's another key. All right, so that was a lot of fun. So we'll see if I do another key or if I do a lock. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but there you go. Oh yeah, so if you want, you can download the reference. I'll provide the link for that, and you can make this key, make some changes, and show it on the Zero Bio Discord. All right, take care.